Hey guys, welcome back to the workshop. So in this video we're going to be making a dust collector. We'll focus on making the actual blower itself, making the impeller, the vanes. I've not bought anything like this before, but I understand the concept and the idea behind it, and got a rough idea of the design in my head of how I'll go about it. So I will focus building the actual housing for the impeller, and then the actual box with the filter mat in it. So, but it's a fun experiment, and it's a fun project to build. So I hope you enjoy it. So nothing else to say, but let's get to it, guys. So I've got my wee motor here, and I did think about cutting threads into it and just bolting it on, but it is so small, so I'm probably just gonna make a flange for it, about an inch, just to give it enough room, just to extend it a bit. So we'll make a flange for it. So I'm obviously I want the impeller itself to be as light as possible. So just going to use this ply board here, 2mm ply board. So use this for the tap part and the bottom, and then we'll make the vanes out of this soft wood. Pretty nice cut. Just finish it off with a wee bit of sandpaper. Nice. You want the vanes to be like, kind of like this. So as it's spinning, it's pushing the air. It's pushing the air. So that motor spins this way, clockwise. So we definitely want them arc like this, because that'll push the air more and it'll create a more stable stream. So I'm just going to get the arc for it, I'm just going to guesstimate, and I'm just going to take the width of this circle here, and we'll create these vanes in there and we'll see how they come out. I'll just cut them roughly, put them roughly in, and we can refine them once they're cut. So that looks a bit right to me, but I've not bought anything like this, so I've not really got anything to go off. This is the standard for me, to do this and then learn, do my mistakes. But it all looks alright. Make sure that they're equally spaced, which they all looks good to me. And this wee bit, make sure we get that centered, which we'll use a square to do that. So I've nothing else to do but glue up, but before we do that we'll deal with the flange. So looks good, man, looking good. So I'm just going to tilt the table about 5 degrees in the pattern. minted, man. Yo. Got a template for our spiral housing. Inside propeller here. Then we've got the funneling effect. See, I'm not quite sure how I'm going to construct it because obviously I'm not going to bend wood. I'll probably just make it in pieces. I'll probably just use a 2x4 and we'll cut out pieces and we'll make the shape and we'll glue it up, and once it's all dry then we can use the template to actually cut the proper shape out on the bandsaw. So I've got these old bed slats here and just pine. I think one of them should probably do, and then I've got this bit of 8mm ply for the bottom and top here. So I've just got the rough shape out. I just wanted to get the centre. So we need to cut a hole the size of the diameter of this here, and then on the bottom one we need to cut a hole the diameter this part of the flange here. This should make up for all the pieces we need. If it doesn't, then simply got another bit there, so we'll just rip this in half the now. So I just roughly cut the angles out in the bandsaw just to make sure that it goes around the template on the outside. There's enough meat on it, which that looks alright. So I'll do that again, but I'll do it in a different orientation so that the wood sort of overlaps and it all holds each other. And I'll put wee splines. I'll put wee splines in between them just to give it a wee bit extra force, holding force. And I'll clean these sides up in the bandsaw on the sander. That should work. I'll need to create a wee piece for here, but look, comes out there. Which will be easy enough just to cut that wee bit out once I've got it all glued up and actually on the back bit. So there we go, got them all cut. It was a wee bit tricky to get all the angles right, but that's perfect, that's what I need. sit out in the sun and let it dry for a year or two, and then we can start working on that. But for the time being, we'll focus on the top and bottom bit. Looking pretty good. We'll draw the template around at the outline and we'll get it cut in the bandsaw, and then we can get it glued on that. So I draw the outline. There we go. We'll finish it off on the sander, get a wee quick sand down, but it's looking alright. That's perfect. You can glue it on. But before I glue it on, I need to cut this wee bit here to complete the spiral. So just going to cut this bit out of just a solid bit of wood. Cut my wee bit now, and that completes it. So there we go. We'll let that dry for a year or two. So there we go, it's nice and dry. That looks sweet sitting in there like that. There we go, it's all glued up, so I'm just going to leave that overnight to dry. I just cut a wee bit of wood, just touching the tap of the motor, just to help it well, just to help secure it. Now, whether it's a good idea or no, I don't know, but can only do it good, you know, holding it secure in place. So probably going to just build a wee box around this bit, and really that's just to dampen the sound of the motor itself, because the motor is pretty loud. And then obviously for the switch, so build a wee closure around it and a wee hole for the switch, and then the next part will be to build a wee box for the filters, the housing for the filters. And there we go. That's it. The last thing I'm not going to do, but I'm going to just run a wee bead of silicone along the joints on the inside, just in case there is any wee leaks there. So there we go. It'll be completely sealed inside, and I put a wee thin layer of silicone around the tap, and that will act like a gasket. So the idea with making the filter bending the chicken wire is that we'll try and bend it like this. So I want a wee bit there that I can attach it to the frame, but then we want like a sort of V, and then this sort of coming up like that, V coming up like that, and we'll fold it like 10 times. So and then we'll get the air blowing through this way, and then I'll make like just a wee bracket type thing at either side, just to hold it in place, and we'll screw it all together, and that should work nicely. Glue these two wee bits right here for the filter to sit on. So we'll just cut a couple of wee strips out. We'll glue these in place along the side just to get that wee bit extra support. Quite work out the way I wanted it to. It was really tricky. It's really tricky to get all that in, and then obviously trying to attach, you know, nails through this to this back guide was just impossible, because it just kept catching. So I've just sort of joined this here, and it's just sort of separate sitting on there, and it'll go in that way, and obviously we're sucking in through it. So I've got about 3 or 4 layers on it, but it's definitely not the way that I had envisioned it. But no, it's still, it'll work. They were totally sealed up all the way around. It's just getting it in there now. There we go. It looks alright, you know. Looks alright. So it's no, the bolt, this board, all the plywood I've got has got, you know, some warps or twists. So I think I'll just screw it down. Easy enough just to, you know, whip the screws back out. So we'll drill a hole in it first, and then we'll just screw it down, and then we can do some tests and see if it actually works. And I've got a nice tight fit here, and I just borrowed my missus' hose. I need to get some more hoses and that, but this will do, just testing and out. Nice tight fit in there. So, sweet. Right, so I've got some there's some dust in that through there on the bandsaw, so we'll go through and we'll use this to clean up the bandsaw, and we'll see how well it performs. So that was the last wee thing that I'd forgot to do. Fire some wee rubber wheels on it. Nice. So nothing else to do but test it out. So put it there. Plug it in here. Right, let's hope it doesn't blow up on me. So let me see what you can see now. So we'll just soak this stuff up here, and I'll open this part of the bandsaw, and I'll soak the stuff up for there, and we'll just soak up everything we see. And then we'll have a look in the filter and we'll see how well it's done. We'll take the filter out. We'll take the filter out and we'll see if any's actually got by it. Aye, we'll see if any's got by it, we'll lift it out, and we'll see if any's on the other side. So, let's go. Definitely sucking. It's not very powerful, mind you, you know. So I can just tell right now that it's not powerful enough to suck the, you know, to suck for here, plug it into there, suck all this, man. It's not powerful enough for that. Just tell right now. That's not bad, man. You know? That's no bad, man. I'm pretty happy with it, man. Definitely. I'm happy with it. You know, for the first time, it's my first time building anything like that, and it works well. It's not as powerful as I thought, but what do you expect for a wee teeny motor like that? So next thing to do is let's go and check the filter. Bring it in here. Let's bring the camera in here. Right. Right, I'll turn this after. I'll open it up and then we'll look. Nice, look at that. Sweet. Now obviously that wasn't very much that I had soaked up, you know, and I knew when I was building it that it wasn't going to have a big capacity like that. But the filter's doing its job. A couple of wee bits, like this bit here, because it's pinched there too much, it's not doing its job. That bit there, but you know, the rest of it seems to be doing its job. But right, let's get it out if I can. Well, put it on this side so that none goes back in. Let's just tip it out first. Because we don't want anything to get back in that way, that's the whole point. I want to see if anything's made it by. Oh, this came out. That's alright. That's alright. No, I don't think anything's made it by. Some there. I don't think anything's made it by, man. That's sweet, look. You know? I was going to do is look on this side of it. Nothing's made it by, man. I cut a wee bits, but that's just for when I pulled it out. So that was what, 4 layers, so 4 layers is good enough to make a filter. Look. You know, I'm happy with that, man. Better than happy with it, look. So let's pick up this stuff with the Henry Hoover, and then we can at least compare the suction for the one I made compared to the Henry Hoover. Aye, man, I think that sucked just as good as the Henry Hoover there, man. It did. So I think that wee thing sucked just as good as the Henry Hoover. The Henry has got stuff in it like that, so that will hinder the pressure, you know, the soaking force. But that wee thing soaked just as good as the Henry Hoover there. I think, you know, you can judge for yourself, but I think it's alright, you know. It's, as I say, I always knew it was an experiment, so I can sort of look at that as a kind of prototype. So if I was to scale it up, use a bigger motor, bigger impeller, bigger box, better filter, even though the filter worked, it just, you know, wasn't perfect. Look, you know, I could buy a half decent filter, and I could have myself a decent dust extractor. So it's something that I need, you know, if for my bandsaw and my table saw, so it's something that I will build. I just need to get myself a bigger motor. I did think about using the bandsaw motor, but I want to build a grinder out of that. So I'm all rather pleased with it. You know, it's I'm the engineer. You know, like I'm just you know, get an idea, you know, visualize it, and I just build towards it. You know, most of the time when I plan things, I don't really stick to the plan, end up changing it like that. So, you know, I just sort of build in a way where I see it, and I'll work like backwards. You know, see the item, see the thing I want to build, and then I'll sort of work backwards to get to the point. You know, like seems counterintuitive, but you know, it's how I've always done it, and it works for me. You know, but it's for what it is, it's a cool wee thing. You know, aye man. It was an interesting project and I enjoyed myself, you know, so I hope you enjoyed watching it, guys. Alright, so cheers everybody who watches my videos. I appreciate every one of yous, alright. If you're not subscribed to the channel, hit that button, guys. It costs nothing, you know what I mean? Sub to the channel and support me. Aye, so take it easy, guys, and I will see you in the next one, alright? And build some, guys, build some. See you later, guys.